Malcolm Gladwell garnered millions of fans by turning conventional wisdom on its head in his past books, Blink, Outliers, and The Tipping Point. And now he's at it again with a new book. It's out this month, David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants. Malcolm, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
We all think we know the story of David and Goliath. We all thought it was David's faith in a miracle that helped him prevail. You see something different in that story.
Well, the story is much more complicated and interesting. I think we've underestimated, for example, just how powerful a sling is. The weapon that David chose is a devastating weapon. And also, I'm not going to give it away, but there's a secret to Goliath that many medical experts have been speculating about in recent years. So I start the book by retelling that story, and it makes you understand, wait a minute, it's not this improbable victory by someone who, a 1 in a million chance. Underdogs actually have a real chance against Goliath.
If I could sum it up, I think that's the thrust of the book, that sometimes something that appears to be a disadvantage can be an advantage. And you give a lot of real-world examples of that. Can you give me one right now?
Oh, sure. I mean, I have chapters on education. I have a big chapter on class size that says we have the conventional wisdom that says the smaller the class, the better it is for a child. And I said, that's true, but only up to a point. When classes get too small, the effect starts to reverse, and your child may be worse off than they would have been otherwise. So there's a case where spending more and more and more money, hiring more and more teachers, doesn't always create the advantage that we think it's going to create.
You have the theory of desirable difficulty and tell a couple of stories about people who suffered with dyslexia and went on to enormous success.
Yeah, I mean, one of the fascinating facts about dyslexia is if you look at successful entrepreneurs and innovators, a hugely disproportionate number of them suffer from learning disabilities. So I sat down with all kinds of incredibly successful businessmen and just asked them about what did that mean. And they said they think that they did as well as they did, not in spite of their disability, but because of it. That in learning to cope with it and work around it, they learned things they would never have otherwise have figured out.
Well, it's a very interesting insight. Makes you look at difficulties you might encounter in your own life in a very different way. Malcolm Gladwell, it's always good to have you here. Thank you.
Pleasure.
The book, of course, is called David and Goliath.